be going over the 3 trials of Ascension and giving you some guidance on what heroes to choose. So I took screenshots of all 3 trial bosses today, and I'll be showing you the teams that I had used when I had maxed the damage output for each of the bosses. So let's start with the first boss, Kubera of the Dorado vault. Oh, and before I go into the bosses, I do want to mention that when you hit chest number 30, with 32 being the max, the reward is the same for 30, 31, and 32. It's a bug that still hasn't been fixed. So if you happen to reach 30 and you didn't max it, you got the max rewards. So with Kubera, he takes extra damage from physical attacks, which means tanks and fighters do well against him. What I would recommend against him is bringing 1 or 2 good fighters, and there are 2 supporting heroes that you definitely want to bring for all of the Trials of Ascension: Odin and Western Queen. There to power up your most powerful carry, whether it's a fighter or a mage. That 5th position can be held by another support hero. In my case, I chose Iset for increasing the amount of damage and for providing a revive just in case Kubera's golden coin toss or his golden coin drop down from the ceiling kills somebody. If you feel that you're dying too quickly against Kubera, you can always put an extra healer where I put Iset. That way you can stay alive a little bit longer. Now this screenshot, it was taken prior to the 1.22 patch. So this was when Odin, his Raven Guardians, provided more of an offensive buff. But now, with Odin changed, he sacrificed a bit of the offense to get more defensive. So your results might differ from mine. So in this case, I would say that your 1 or 2 fighters, one of them should be Freyja, because she will power up the other fighter who can dish out a lot of damage, physical damage, to Kubera. Now in my case, I chose Archimedes because the Archimedes-Odin formation was very strong, and it still is strong, just not as strong as it was before. There are some other fighters that you can put in place. Let's take a look at them. Okay, so here we are at the selection of all of the fighter heroes available. So besides Archimedes, we're seeing a pretty good choice in Oda Nobunaga, because hey, everybody already knows him as the highest DPS hero in the game so far. If you're gonna choose Odin, another good hero that can be put with any fighter actually would be Nuwa, the other UR hero, because I believe she increases the attack percentage for fighter heroes. I would not try Susanoo. Susanoo's not really a boss hero, he's more of a PvP, sometimes a PvE backline sniper. I already discussed Freyja. Lucifer, I wouldn't try. You can bring Apollo maybe, but Apollo would work. Loki works too. Artemis might be a little bit too much on the squishy side. She might die quickly, but she is very good at damage output. Chiron, if you're going to pick Lubu, you want to pick him for his iconic weapon 500 effect, where every 10 hits will max out the amount of damage his ultimate can do. But if you're going to use Lubu, you have to manually control the fight so that Lubu doesn't pop off his ultimate too early, especially because Odin would be there to max out his energy bar. Kamazos, nah, don't use her. Medusa, nah. Not too sure about the new hero, Hattori Hanzo. And Oberon's fine too. So you have all those fighter types that you can use to dish out damage to Kubera. So let's move on to the next trial. Okay, so now we've moved on to Mimir of the Yggrasil well. So you see I have the exact same setup as I did with the Dorado vault. Luckily with Mimir, he can take both physical and magical damage and doesn't reduce either. So you can feel free to bring whatever hero types you want. But what worked best for me was, again, I used Odin and Western Queen as the supporting heroes. I brought in Freyja to give that start of battle fighter and tank type attack speed buff, and at the time Freyja's chains would increase energy rather than increasing attack speed. I don't know how that's going to affect your damage output, but either way, Archimedes was the primary carry here. He works here because when he starts getting on his power surge, he'll attack 2 enemies, 35% damage, but his attack speed goes way up, so he deals that damage very quickly. And again is set for the damage output and reviving. Reviving here, I believe it mattered a lot more because of the fact that Mimir's minions, especially those first 3 ones, the melee ones, when they move around and they bunch up on Western Queen or is set, they can tend to stack that damage quickly and kill either of the supporting heroes, which is not good for your carry, whoever the carry might be. Now in this case for me, Archimedes worked, but what else I can recommend for you is bringing along a carry who has the Asterial Divinity tree, specifically the skill Annihilation. This skill is very important for Yggrasil well because Annihilation increases the carry's damage by 150% to any enemy summons or minions, and those 5 minions of Mimir count, so they'll take that 150% more damage. So the following heroes have Annihilation: Artemis, Zeus, Cleopatra, Gangjang and Moye, Chiron, Gaia, I wouldn't use Gaia though, Tamama no Mei, and then our more newer heroes, Prometheus, and our very newest hero, Hattori Hanzo. I'll be doing a review on Hanzo sometime later. I'm not sure when, but based on looking at his skills and his iconic weapon effects, he seems like he would be definitely a great fit for Yggrasil well. So do what you must and try to get as much damage on those minions. Okay, moving on to the last trial boss, Djinni of the Afreet Den. So with Djinni, he is the opposite of Kubera. He takes reduced physical damage, but he takes increased magical damage. So, I mean, again, Odin and Western Queen and specifically for me, I picked Freyja and Iset as further support. Now you're probably wondering, hey, why did you pick Freyja? Freyja's a physical damage dealer. She would do reduced damage against Djinni. That's true. Now at the time, Freyja was there not because she can do the increased attack damage with her ultimate, which does sort of offset the physical damage reduction, but she was there to increase the energy gain for all heroes whenever she used the bound prey chains on Djinni. Now with it increasing attack speed, again, just like with Yggrasil, well, it might help in Afreet Den. I don't know how much it helps as the energy gain did, but hey, it helps. You can test your luck and see if it works for you. Now, let's go over to the mage heroes that are viable for Djinni. Okay, so here are all the mage type heroes, and you saw from my screenshot I chose Amaterasu. Now here we look at more mage heroes. Prometheus would work. So with Prometheus, he does have many damaging active skills, but his iconic weapon effects will increase the attack percentage for heroes that receive the Tinder from his ultimate. So he can be useful there, but it's dependent on who gets the Tinder. It would have to be him, and if you copy my formation, it would be Freyja as well. Nephthys has a passive that increases magical damage on an enemy when they're hit. So in this case, Nephthys would be useful for that. With Lilith can work. The thing with Lilith is, if you're going to pick her, you want a team that is majority guardian. That way she can use the single target effect of her ultimate rather than the whole team effect of a Shadow Arc majority team. Gangjiang and Moye works. Tamai Minome. As for the other heroes, I mean, they can work if that's what you have to work with, but you know, heroes like Murasaki, Cleopatra, Zeus, Flora, Izanami, they're meant more for widespread damage, which suits Yggrasil well, but not as effective for Djinni. So there you have it. That's all you need to know about the Trials of Ascension. I wish you luck.